Yeah, just gonna wait till Margot comes back, okay? Just waiting for Margot to come back. She'll be right back. Here she comes.
That's what happens when,
We are out of executive session, so we're just getting ready to
Okay.
go back into
Yeah.
regular. You okay?
I'm fine, yeah, it's what happens when you get a big thaw in February.
Oh,
Walking the dog and
yeah,
pick them up.
ticks. Okay, we're ready, Jamie. It's the Real Estate and Open Space Committee meeting, regular session for February 18th, 2022. We have just come out of executive session, and we are now in our regular meeting. We would like to welcome our guests, Michael Locke of Harwich Conservation Trust, and Amy Usowski for the Conservation Commission. First order is to approve the minutes from January 28th, 2022. You have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's good. You all, I think, received a copy of Jim's steps to acquisition. Nice job, Jim.
Thank you.
Did anyone have any questions, or?
No, I don't think we can second guess the lawyer here.
You can always do that.
You can always try.
Basically, I'm willing to discuss anything.
Okay, no, it seemed very clear and orderly to me, so I
Thank you.
don't have any suggestions.
So, are we now going to forward this on?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was what I thought would be the main purpose of discussing this at the meeting today, as to how to proceed. My recommendation would be that it be presented first to the town administrator, with a discussion with the town administrator, and then to the chairman of the Board of Selectmen. And it should be presented not as a, this is what you have to do. It should be presented as we were giving some thought to how the town should proceed and could proceed in order to clear title on some of these pieces of property where not only are they owners unknown, but there is no real record, with the assessor's office, no survey, no plan, no plot, no member. And in that some of the parcels that were in that status that we identified are fairly substantial parcels that could be extremely valuable to the
Right.
town.
Right.
So in my opinion, the next step would be to present it first to the town administrator, and then, assuming that the town administrator would be agreement, would be to present it to at least the chairman of the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, all righty, we can do that, so we can set an appointment
Yeah.
with Mr. Powers.
And I think, Elaine, you should be the one that sets the appointment. I will be happy to attend
Yes,
the
I
meetings
would.
with you.
Appreciate you joining me. Be my wingman, James. Okay,
I'll be your attorney.
there you go. Lord, I need one. All right, any other comments on this? We all agree that this is what we shall proceed with? Yep, okay. Just the next on our agenda is the CPC approval of the Six Ponds Great Woods for CPA funds. Yay,
Yay,
yay!
yay, that's big.
And Kathy, I think it was pretty unanimous approval by the whole board, wasn't
It
it?
was unanimous, yeah.
Yeah. So now we, and I believe, well, I know, a draft article has been submitted to CPC and to the town administrator and the chair of the Board of Selectmen. Now, how's that gonna go? That's my question.
Can I ask who did the draft warrant article?
Harwich Conservation Trust.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't think you did it. Like when I saw it.
That was a no-brainer. Yes. Yeah, good thinking. No, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it'll go before the Board of Selectmen and, I'm sure that that will go through, and it'll go before town council to make sure that the language is correct.
Would the CPC review, I know based on past experience, that it would like.
We'll probably look at them, but given the technicalities of the land purchase, I don't think that they'll wade in.
Get it, familiarize themselves with it.
Correct.
Okay, all righty. Good. I'm so glad that that's moved along. Yeah. Now,
Can I ask one question?
sure, go ahead.
When this gets all the way to town meeting, is there going to be anybody that is going to be sort of identified to answer any questions on this property that come in the during town meeting?
Oh, yeah, I think anyone, well, I would think most of us would attend town meeting.
Right.
And certainly either answer questions or even step up to promote
Okay,
it.
but what I'm thinking would be helpful is if there was one person who was, now, anybody can speak, but at least one person who was identified, sort of as the proponent of this, to answer any questions that come on the floor of town meeting. I think that would just be helpful.
Yeah, okay, we can work on that.
Okay.
We have until May 2nd.
And I think that Michael will be there.
Yeah, Mike will be
and
there,
if he's given permission to speak as
Right.
a non-resident, he will speak to that.
right.
We've got to make Michael a resident of Harwich. Michael, move into the office.
Okay, that's good news. I think you all received the notice about the ethics test that we have to, well, I did it last year, so I didn't have to do it, so if you
So
didn't.
I did it last year too,
Did it
so
last year?
only every other year, is that it?
I think I did mine last year.
I think I did mine too, I'll have to check, but I.
Okay,
Now, was this the?
the state conflict of interest.
The email, the way I read it, indicated that we had to read the information
Right,
and then verify that we were
right.
provided
And
the
I'm
information.
gonna pass this sheet around and
Okay.
just sign and date that you received the information.
Right,
Not that you actually did it, but that you received the information.
but
Then
doing
you,
it with just reading the information, not taking
you
the-
have to, if
the
you didn't
online
do it
test?
last year, you have to do it this year. It's
Okay,
every
but
year.
Elaine, I think you're missing what my question is. Reading the information is one thing. Doing the online test, which takes about a half an hour to 45 minutes, is something completely different.
Right. So if,
Which was this about?
this is just to say that you received the information.
Okay,
Now, it is up to you, if you did not do it last year, you need to do it this year. And make sure you print out the certificate, 2 copies, right? And you turn one into the town clerk's office and keep the other one for your own record, but make sure you print it out.
okay. Another question, Elaine, my name isn't on here?
Oh,
Oh. Well, I guess town clerk, just.
Just
let
add it in.
Just add it in,
added at the bottom.
yeah. Okay. I sent out the update of the tax collector's report on our spreadsheet. I don't think we need to go over it all, but I think you can all see that action has been taken on most of those properties, so. And then from now on, when Amy Bullock does give us an updated, there will be a column for payment plan status, so we'll know, we'll keep track of the properties and we'll know which ones. So we won't spend a lot of time on ones that are already being dealt with,
Right.
which in the past, seem to happen from time to time. My only, thing I wanted to mention was that at the last Board of Selectmen meeting, the chair, Mr. McCaskill, did ask the town administrator to draft an article for town meeting to secure funding of, I believe he said $500,000 to pay for title search, surveys, and appraisals on owners unknown property. So,
Say that again, Elaine, sorry.
So you're gonna have a warrant article for $500,000 to be used for surveys, title search, and appraisals on some of these property owners, unknown properties.
Is that gonna be Prop 2.5 or like, like extra?
I do not
Where
know.
are they gonna come up with that money?
They had a discussion of it at their meeting on Monday,
Yeah.
and I actually watched that, I wasn't here, but I watched that segment of the meeting. And Joe Powers seemed to think it was gonna take a couple of articles to do this, and Chairman McCaskill was saying that what he would like to be able to do is to say to town meeting that the long-term plan is to sell some of the parcels that they acquire and actually pay back the town coffers for the money that they appropriate for the purposes of survey and title work and so forth. They were thinking of making this an annual appropriation. In other words, this is not like a one-shot deal that they would do it this year, but that they would anticipate doing it each year and funnel the money back in as possible. So Joe Powers was going to come back to them with some draft warrant articles to discuss how they might actually pull this off. So, and they didn't talk specifically
Yeah.
about dollar amounts in their discussion on Monday.
I thought I heard him say
Spending
500.
Yeah.
$500,000 a year for X number of years to get people to pay their taxes and claim property. that's been
Yeah,
claimed.
I think it's, I think that the way that they're thinking about it is in terms of, cleaning up the tax rolls, making sure that, the town has some influence over what happens with these parcels, but I didn't hear the word conservation in there anywhere. I heard affordable housing, I heard, potential municipal uses. So that's something, I think we wanna pay attention to, because in our recommendations to them, there were a lot of conservation recommendations for these parcels, and, I'd be really dismayed if they all ended up getting sold for development purposes just to, pay the town taxes. So I think we need to be prepared to argue the merits of what the different uses might be for some of these parcels.
Well, our recommendations going back probably a dozen years included many properties that we've deemed really only suitable for conservation or preservation because of water quality questions, et cetera,
Right.
et cetera. And nothing's happened with any of those, so
Yeah,
we'll have to see,
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
keep an eye on them.
yeah.
Jane,
Well, the one thing I would just like to add that we should all be aware of in our discussions on this is that the town's ability to acquire properties and then sell them for development purposes will depend on how the town acquires the property. If the town acquires the property by eminent domain, it has to be for public purposes. So as we had discussed earlier, those public purposes clearly would include conservation, it would include recreation, it would include the development of town facilities, it could also include affordable housing if it was town-sponsored affordable housing. But if it's acquired by eminent domain, it would have to be for public purposes.
Couldn't just be sold to a
It
developer,
couldn't
is
be
what you're
just
saying.
sold to a developer. Now, that's different with the tax title property. So, there's a combination there that I think we should be aware of, because depending on how the Board of Selectmen are steering this, we may at a certain point want to remind them about how the acquisition process goes.
right.
Makes sense.
All right, any other comments, questions, concerns? Anything? Nope, we're good? All
Have
right.
you gotten any feedback from your presentation to the Board of Selectmen?
Um,
Bye, Michael.
Bye, Michael.
Bye, thank you. Not really, you know, not.
On this, you
officially.
mean, on the honors unknown?
Yeah,
The whole presentation,
I think at the meeting
At the,
itself.
at the meeting,
itself.
they,
Yeah,
you know,
right,
the-
yeah.
was there.
I've actually, in watching some of their segments of their meetings, I can't watch the whole thing, but, they said some very positive things
Yeah.
afterwards. You know, they did
Yeah.
have some discussion among themselves, and they were very pleased to have some, sense of direction of, you know, which of these parcels they should be looking at, and have some good information about them. So I think that exercise was well worth doing.
Oh, yeah.
well, I think the ease of the presentation in terms of what, you know, you gave them, you know, chart-wise,
Yeah.
et cetera, was considerably helpful.
And they have mentioned at subsequent meetings, real estate and open space and the
Yeah.
presentation and the work that we gave them. So, yeah, I think they've acknowledged us.
Well, I don't care about the acknowledgement, I was
Well,
just wondering,
You know,
movement-wise, that's all.
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
don't care about the
but
acknowledgement.
I think they're, yeah, they're set to move forward.
Yeah.
We've done everything we can do. Right, okay. Anything else? No?
No.
Motion, first of all, our next meeting date would be March 18th, 2022.
Okay,
That's all right with everybody?
Yeah.
Sounds good?
great,
Can't believe we're gonna be into March already.
yeah.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
I'll move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Bye.
aye,
We are adjourned.
great. Okay.
One second.